All right, let's just cut right to it. We are going to slice through all that hype and talk about what it actually takes to make money online. Think of this as the no BS guide you've been waiting for.
Does that sound familiar? Yeah, if that hits home, you are definitely in the right place. Maybe you've tried something like dropshipping or maybe Amazon FBA, and you realize pretty quickly it's not the cakewalk they promised, right? Trust me, you are not alone in feeling that way.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? The online world feels like this massive, chaotic jungle, and it seems like everyone in there is trying to sell you their own secret map to the treasure. It's totally overwhelming, and honestly, it's kind of designed to be that way.
So the big question is, how in the world do you find a real path forward? How do you tell what's a genuine opportunity and what's just a bunch of hype? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, first things first, we need to talk about the truth that really changes the entire game. See, the biggest mistake most people make isn't picking the wrong business. No, it's having completely the wrong expectations about what it actually takes to win.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute core of it. The truth is, almost every single online business model you've heard of can work. But here's the catch. There's no magic button. Every single one has a learning curve, a mountain you have to climb. It requires real, honest-to-goodness commitment. So the secret isn't finding the one perfect method. It's about finding the one you're actually willing to stick with, even when the climb gets tough.
So, to help you navigate that jungle we were talking about, here are the words that should be immediate red flags for you. Like, seriously. The second you hear someone say automatic, passive, guaranteed, easy, or fast, your internal alarm bells should be going off like crazy. Real business just doesn't work that way. Now, the businesses we're about to talk about, they're automatic, passive, and totally guaranteed to work. Just kidding. Had to do it. A little pattern interrupt there to make a very serious point. From here on out, we're sticking to reality. No fluff, I promise.
And this is the classic bait and switch you see everywhere. On the left, you've got the hype. They're promising you this secret map to becoming an instant millionaire. But the truth, on the right, is that the real value in a lot of these online courses is just organized information. And maybe a support group. Stuff you could probably find for free if you just had a ton of time. They're selling you convenience, not a secret.
Okay, let's get into our first legitimate, real-world method and see how this all comes together. We're talking about Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP for short. And this is all about publishing your own books on Amazon's huge platform.
Now, here's the thing. You could spend a small fortune on ads to promote your book. Or you could use this strategy, tapping into the absolutely insane viral potential of TikTok. It is an incredibly powerful and, best of all, free way to get your books in front of a ton of people.
And this strategy works especially well for certain kinds of books. You got to think about what has viral potential on a super visual platform like TikTok, right? We're talking about things like journals, diaries, coloring books, even simple, funny books that are just really easy to show off in a quick video. So here's the 6-step playbook. It really takes you from the very beginning all the way to publishing. But I want you to look really closely at steps 5 and 6. Post daily and replicate. That right there, that's the engine of this whole thing. Consistency is absolutely non-negotiable. And once you find a video style that works, you just repeat it relentlessly. Okay, so let's talk numbers. Let's make this tangible. What does success here actually look like? Let's say you create a video, it gets lucky, and it goes viral, hitting about 100,000 views. That's your potential audience right there.
Now, out of all those 100,000 people who saw your video, a pretty realistic conversion rate is just 1%. I know, it doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But let's see what that actually translates to for your bank account.
Okay, so let's say you're making about $7 in profit for every book sold. That one single viral video could generate around $7,000. Not too shabby for an investment of your time instead of your money, right? Suddenly, this whole thing feels very, very real.
All right, let's shift gears and look at method number 2, building a business on YouTube. And listen, this isn't just about cranking out videos. It's about building a long-term asset. It's about creating a loyal audience that will stick with you.
Now, to really get how you make money on YouTube, you need to know these 2 key terms. On the left, you've got CPM. That's what advertisers are paying YouTube for 1,000 views on a video. But the number that actually matters to you, the creator, is over on the right, RPM. That's your real revenue per 1,000 views, after YouTube takes its cut. So always focus on your RPM.
You know, a successful YouTube channel really runs like a well-oiled machine. It all starts with the big picture stuff, choosing a profitable niche, really digging in and researching your audience, and from there, it becomes like a content assembly line. You write the script, you record the voiceover, you edit it all together, and then you optimize it with a killer title and tags so people can actually find it.
But what's the real secret sauce here? Honestly, it all boils down to just two things. First, CTR, or click-through rate. That's just getting people to actually click on your video in the first place. And second, audience retention. That's keeping them watching once they've clicked. If you can master those two things, the algorithm will love you, and it will push your content to more people. And when you get this right, the numbers can be pretty powerful. I mean, think about it. A channel in a high-value niche might have an RPM of around $15. So a video that gets 100,000 views, that could earn you $1,500 just from ads alone. And that's a direct result of nailing these two simple metrics.
So we've covered the what. We've talked Kindle, we've talked YouTube. But you know what? Neither of them will work without the how. We've got to talk about mindset. Because this, right here, is the real engine that's going to drive your success, no matter which path you choose.
And here's a crucial point. You have to match your strategy to your goals. It's that simple. Look, if all you want is a nice little second income, you can probably handle everything yourself, no problem. But if your goal is to build a really ambitious, scalable business, you have to start thinking about delegating tasks. Seriously, delegation is the key that unlocks real growth.
Look, this journey is not going to be a straight line. You are going to hit roadblocks, it's inevitable. But this quote here just captures the perfect perspective. Every single time you push through a difficulty, you're not just solving a problem, you're gaining new skills. And even more importantly, you're gaining awareness. Obstacles aren't failures, they're just part of the curriculum.
So there you have it. We've laid out two very different but very real paths to making money online. You've seen the map. The only question left is, what's your first step going to be?